Great to have you here.
Thanks, very happy to be here as well. I must say it's my first time in Frankfurt, so very happy to discover the city and the vibe here, and very happy to be in this very nice venue.
And you know what? You will come back.
For sure.
For sure. Actually, today, Qonto, you founded in 2016, you launched in 2017. Today, you have 1,600 employees, the leading European business finance solution with 500,000 customers from small and medium businesses. But when I read your story about founding, it was not that you had the great big vision about what had to happen in business banking. It was out of the frustration. Is that right, that you started?
Yeah, all your numbers are correct. And indeed, the very beginning of Qonto was 8-9 years ago now. With my co-founder, Steve, we had built a first company in a very different industry. We had built, for the joke, we had built an electronic cigarette company, so very different from finance and banking. But we had a team of 15 people at the time, and I was basically doing the finance work, so I was kind of the CFO as well as the CEO of that small company. And we struggled with anything, payments, banking, invoicing, bookkeeping. All that was taking quite a lot of time, was really not smooth. And also we're doing quite a few payments abroad, very high fees and so on. And so when that first company got acquired in 2015, 2016, we sat down with Steve, with my co-founder, and we said, well, let's start another business together. We're very happy working with one another. And then we started looking for an idea. And basically we came back to the pains we had suffered as entrepreneurs, and banking was very much one of them. So after a few weeks, we decided to go for this big and ambitious idea of fixing business banking in Europe.
Fixing.
So that's how it got started 8-9 years ago. We launched in France and then expanded to Europe and are now active in 8 markets.
Yeah, active in 8 markets, and when we talk about growth, active also in a wide range of products, I would say. It's not a simple business banking account anymore. It's accounts payable, receivable, invoicing, what you do, and other services. But I read you're not holding a banking license, only a European payment license. Why that?
Well, indeed, we have a payment institution license, which enables us to do everything payments related. Put simply, for the credit part, we do a small part ourselves, like less than 12 months credit products, with one first product we launched a year ago that's called Pay Later, enabling our customers to finance their invoices. And we also have several partners in what we call our financing hub, where we offer much longer-term credit lines with iWoka, Banksware, and some other partners. And so we cover the whole spectrum of our customers' needs, either by things that we do ourselves or through partners. And right now, we're very happy with that setup. Maybe one day we'll become a bank, but right now we're very happy with that.
No concrete plans yet?
No concrete plans yet.
Okay. Look, let's look at
But never say never, as we say. So.
Okay, we take that. Maybe for next year. So let's look at further into growth. We know you did a Series D funding, 500 million, 2 years ago about. So you were able to acquire Penta in Germany. Many of us know that here. And also last year you acquired Regate in France, which is an accounting platform. Is the strategy now to grow all over Europe in an acquisition spree?
So the strategy,
well-funded, certainly.
Yeah, the strategy is very much to grow all over Europe. So the first part of your question is definitely true. Acquisition spree, probably not. We're also growing, a lot organically, but indeed we're lucky and happy to have also some financial means to potentially do more M&A, more acquisitions. Either, as we did with Penta, as you mentioned, more from a geographical expansion perspective, or more for, let's say, product or channel expansion, as we did with Regate, that we acquired last year in France, which is much more into pre-accounting and serving accountants, which of course are very much linked to our business, and make it, in the end, make it much easier for small businesses to manage their finances. So no specific plans to buy companies in the short term, but that's definitely an option for us to keep on growing fast. And there's been a lot of, as you mentioned, there's been a lot of fintech big rounds and big funding rounds in the last couple of years, mostly 2019 to 2021, 2022, and some of these companies like us are doing pretty well. Some of these companies are a bit less doing less well, and maybe will need to think of strategic options, because they might be also lacking cash in the for the next few years. And so I expect definitely some more consolidation in the industry in the next couple of years in Europe, and we're definitely part of the potential consolidators. So we'll be opportunistic, as we say.
So luckily, no funding crunch for you. But you did say in an interview the other day, I saw buying is easy, but integrating is so much more of a challenge. What happened?
Well, it's just I think it's just more common sense. I mean, it's pretty easy to to write a check and to buy a company, or that's not the most difficult part. The most difficult part is indeed the integration. So just when we we acquired two companies, so I just have two very clear data points. But it took a few months to negotiate the deal and buy the company. Both in the Penta case and in the Regate case, and then it takes quarters or maybe sometimes years to properly do the integration, and you have technical challenges, potentially regulatory challenges, people or culture challenges, or at least elements to take into account, and merging two organizations, two cultures, even if they're similar, also can be complex. And so we're very happy with the two acquisitions we've done, and it definitely helped us boost a lot in Germany with the Penta acquisition, and on the accountants channel with Regate. But it's definitely the work starts basically when you've closed the deal and when you actually have to execute. Mm-hmm. That's what I meant. Mm-hmm.
You have a valuation, at least that's what's reported lately, of about 5 billion euros at the moment. You're not profitable yet, as far as I know. This is the plan for this year. Is this right?
That's not exactly right. So the official last round valuation was 4.4 billion euros. So the 5 billion was dollars, just to be super precise. And on the profitability, we are actually already profitable. But we are profitable when we take into account all our income sources, including net interest income. And so our ambition is also to become profitable in the next few years, excluding the positive impact of net interest income. But we're already profitable, so of course gives us quite some leeway into how we grow, keep on growing the business, keep on hiring without needing to raise more funding, and also potentially do some acquisitions on the way.
Mm-hmm. But with a valuation that high, I have to ask the question, is an IPO something you're planning on? And if yes, when and maybe where? I mean, Frankfurt is a nice financial center for that.
I mean, it might be the second time I come to Frankfurt.
Okay.
But seriously, obviously the goal is more to keep on growing. I mean, we have, as you mentioned in the intro, about 500,000 customers today. Our plan is to go to 1.8 million customers, so freelancers and small businesses, in the next 4 years. I think this is very much the focus. And if we're as successful as we expect, of course IPO could be one option down the line. And so there is no specific plan, but of course we're also structuring the company from a governance perspective, accounting, systems, and so on, to be more robust and to be more organized. That of course also could help if we want to IPO in a couple of years, but that's definitely not happening, not this year, not next year, maybe a couple of years. So never say never again for IPO topic. And I think if we have to IPO in the next few years, the most likely would be to do in Europe. We're very much building a European company, European footprint, European team, and so that would be in Europe. given our head office and our license and so on, the most likely would be Paris if I had to choose today. But again, the time can things can change, context can change as well. So we'll see. But definitely in Europe if we had to choose.
Your life as an entrepreneur will certainly change with an IPO. Talking about your life as an entrepreneur, with 1,600 employees, I mean, you have to put in a lot of professional structures. How do you manage every day to keep some of the entrepreneurial spirit, founder spirit in the company? Is there like a success recipe?
It's hard. That's the first answer. But no, I think we've been growing the team as well as hiring great people on the way. So we have built a very strong leadership team together with my co-founder Steve. Diverse profiles on diverse functions, but also just very recently, for instance, the last C-level we hired is our chief growth officer, Heidrun Lloyd, who is German, and so that's also, just she happens to be German. It was a bit by chance, but it's also a great way for us to have an even more European, team and way of doing things to really further expand and build that great company across Europe. I think it's of course a lot about customers. So my co-founder Steve and I, we keep on getting back to customers, taking feedback. Anytime we meet a customer, writing notes about what they like, what they don't like, sharing that with the team to keep on really improving and evolving the product in the right way, because in the end that's what matters. We have this super high Trustpilot score of 4.7 star rating out of 5, with 20,000 reviews. And so we really care a lot, really starting with my co-founder and I about this, not just for the rating itself, but just to make sure our customers really love Qonto and ideally spread the word around them to keep on growing. So I think it's that energy and constant focus on customers and on details. I think details matter a lot. Because in the end, there are lots of players doing similar things, and so the extra mile has to be in an everyday, let's say, everyday ambition. Whether it's in customer support that should reply fast and well, and with a friendly tone of voice, and no spelling mistakes, and so on. All these things. Of course, the product that should work really well, the pricing that should be fair and transparent. I mean, all these elements that we've been working on since the beginning. We need to keep on also telling the team on a daily basis. And we're hiring a lot. As you mentioned, we have 1,600 employees. And for instance, I do all the first onboarding sessions with any new joiner for an hour.
You know every employee?
Well, I meet every employee. Wow. I wouldn't say I know every employee, but I meet every employee for at least on their onboarding. And so, telling the story, why we're here, our mission, and so on. So hopefully that also helps to create, this great culture where, people know why they joined, to serve SMEs across Europe, to build a great product that also serves, the economy in the end, because all these small businesses represent 50% of the GDP, 2/3 of the employment, and so that's also a great mission for all our employees.
Culture, big topic. Let's look a little bit into the person setting the culture. Alexandre, your life. You were raised in Paris. You were actually born into banking. Your father was a banker, I read somewhere. Then you graduated from the HEC and INSEAD, started your career in Goldman Sachs and McKinsey. And
nobody's perfect, huh?
I'm not asking you now what are the learnings from. Obviously, a frustration brought you to found the companies. Let's just look at you personally. 5 brief questions. Vacation. Mountains or beach?
Mountains.
Spare time. Exploring the landscape or reading a book?
Exploring.
Music. Heavy metal or Mozart?
Mozart.
Wow.
I would have said electro, or if you had the
Sports. Team sports or running?
Running.
Food. Bœuf bourguignon or bratwurst?
Currywurst.
Currywurst. Okay, there we go. And when you look at your entrepreneurial career, was there something like a biggest challenge that, I mean, was there like a point where you thought I would give up, and how did you overcome that?
Well, I think the last 8 years that look, or 9 years, like look, very nice on paper or on slides and so on. It's a constant, it's a series of challenges basically. So challenges to raise funding. You mentioned the 500 million round, or almost 486 was the number. But the first round we did was a seed round of 1.6 million euro in 2016, and it was pretty hard to raise that 1.6 million. So that was definitely a challenge. Then hiring the first employees was a challenge. So now we're hiring a lot of people pretty easily. But the beginning was very tough. No one wanted to believe in that. Okay, we're going to fix business banking in Europe. And so a lot of challenges, a lot of opportunities and great things, but also a lot of challenges are people related. I remember at the beginning we found some great potential employees. But they said, oh, I love what you do, but I just got an offer from whatever, Google, paid twice what you offered me, so I'm not going to join you, and I think that's often, and so when you have great people that leave you, that's sometimes happen, that's tough. When I think that's, that these are the most, at least perceived difficult things, because of course, the whole journey is about people and people working together in that team. So when you have a good team member leaving or that cannot join or whatever, I think that's what is tough. And sometimes also when you have someone with whom it's not working well and you have to let them go, it's also not easy. Those things are not easy.
Oh, I have to ask one last question. You're French fintech and active in Germany, so you see those two ecosystems very clearly. What's the difference, or what is dividing us? I mean, we see Monsieur Macron doing the AI summit just a couple of days ago. What's the difference that you perceive between the two ecosystems?
I think there are many more, similarities and shared points. I think I'd rather focus on that, meaning that I think we need to build, European champions, whether they're originally from France or Germany or Italy or Spain or whatever, because we see we're a bit, stuck between the US, China, and maybe some other, big markets, big countries. So the only way we can have a, strong European economy, ecosystem is really to build European champions. So that's what we're, trying to do with Qonto. Obviously, I'm French originally, or I have a French passport, but I really consider Qonto as a European company. That's why we chose the name Qonto, by the way, 7 or 8 years ago, as a name that could work well in different languages in Europe. When we got started, the website was Qonto.eu. Now we have Qonto.com, and also we kept Qonto.eu. But the whole philosophy of Qonto was really to build a European team and a European company, from the first day. So that's more what what I feel. When I go to Berlin, I go pretty often to Berlin, where we have our office, or Milan, or Barcelona. I don't feel like a big difference. I feel a big difference when I go from time to time to the US. I feel it's a pretty different world for lots of reasons. Yeah. But I really feel like Europe is, becoming more and more a reality in terms of, one single market. Of course, there are lots of things we can improve, but one single market. We're very much using our, European license to passports, across Europe. So I want to be more, positive and seeing the glass, half full. About, Europe can be strong, can be much stronger, and we're trying to also push and help in that direction.
That's why we say it's time to act Europe. And one last mission from you, just one sentence: to build global tech champions out of Europe. What would be your mission towards Europe, towards the Commission, to everyone who is building a European ecosystem?
Well, I think anything that can help, having one regulation, one tax system, one, for ESOP, we have, stock options for our employees. It's a bit of a mess because each market has their own, tax stuff and regulation and so on. So of course it makes it more difficult to build those, those European champions. So everything that, instead of having 28 or 27, frameworks, you have one, it makes it much easier.
Yeah.
And also this initiative to have one new type of European companies, I think is very much going in the right direction. So that's what I'm hoping for.
And we are hoping to see you back here next year in Frankfurt at Frankfurt Digital Finance. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Alexandre Prot. Thank you. Wish you lots of success.